Hi, this is Josh Klaus with the Housewine Collective. This is episode 1, starring Mr. Rick Stienburg. Rick, great to have you here at Control Tower Studios.
It's great to be here. Good to see you guys.
Yeah, so, Rick, I want to start off with asking where you're from.
Well, I've been in Austin for 36 years, so I consider myself from Austin at this point because it's been all of my adult life, basically, and over half of my actual life. But I was born in Chicago and raised in Central Illinois.
Central Illinois.
Yes.
And you grew up with, I assume, 2 parents and any siblings.
I had both parents, and then when I was 10, my sister was born. And but I was, 10, so pretty quickly I was out of there. But yeah, I've got a sister.
Okay.
Grew up in Normal, Illinois. Totally normal existence.
That's what I think of you.
That's why
I think of you as normal.
Yeah,
you're a very normal guy.
One of my college professors said, "You need to go to Austin. You're not going to do well here. You're too rowdy for normal. You need to go to Austin."
Oh, that's great. So growing up, I guess you were an only child for about 10 years.
I was.
So being a musician and an artist, do you remember any of those times, like as a young kid, being exposed to art or music, anything that stuck out in a meaningful way?
Well, my father was an artist and a professor of painting, so I was always around art, and he had a studio in the garage, and so there was always materials, and he would kind of delineate, this you can get into and this don't touch, kind of thing. So the art was all around me. He liked music a lot. I always liked listening to music. And I didn't much like my music teacher as a young kid. And she was scary.
Scary how?
Well, I didn't realize until later in life that she smelled bad, And she smelled of perfume, but it didn't smell good. And so I didn't realize until much later in life that what was going on there was that she was a smoker, and so she would try to cover up the cigarette smell with the perfume, and so it was
the combination of perfume and smoke.
Yes,
is just bad combo.
It was not good. It was not good. So I can remember telling my grandfather one time, he was asking me, about my classes, and I was probably 6 or 7 years old, and I said, "Well, I don't like music," and he said, "Well, why is that?" And I think I don't know if I might have said the music teacher smells funny or something, but
yeah.
But he said something about, he said, "Oh, well, that you don't want to not like music, because music is one of the best things in life, basically." And so I always remember that, and it was just kind of like a little kind of off the cuff thing that he said, but it's probably the one thing I remember the most about him giving me advice.
It's so amazing, like. I'm sure as a teacher, FYI, Rick is a teacher or was a teacher until recently. We'll talk about that in a moment. But I think you realize, like, I have those moments too where this person said this random compliment or this random piece of advice that they probably thought was meaningless, but you picked up and is being very significant. So that was one of the first times you remember being like, wow, music is actually a really great thing, even though I think it's bad because this woman smells.
Right. And, music back then meant the music teacher came to, I went to a good school. I went to the university school. And she would come in the room. Every room had a piano. And so the music teacher would come in, play the piano, and you'd sing. And when we got old enough to use books, we used books. But then, because it was a kind of an advanced school in a way, as far as they had a lot of resources. In 5th grade, you started band, but you still did choral music as well. But band certainly, the gleaming brass instruments were much more interesting than the books and the piano.
Yeah.
So
did you always like singing? Like when you grew up doing that, or was it something that you just had to do?
Yeah, I think I always liked singing. No. I started loving the guitar.
Loving the guitar in third grade. And so when did you start playing the guitar?
I actually started playing the guitar in high school.
Okay, so it took a while.
Yeah, it took a while because I had to buy my own guitar. So it took a while to get the money to buy a guitar. I actually traded in the trumpet on my first guitar. And I had to have cash, of course, because the trumpet was like kind of a used old trumpet.
Right.
And but at that point, my parents said, "You can have it, and if you want a guitar, damn you, then go ahead. Go ahead and get a guitar and play the devil's music."
Oh my gosh! Is that an embellishment? Or do you think that's actually how they felt?
I think my dad had actually played gigs when he was a young man, so he might have kind of thought, yeah, we don't really want him to be a musician. He's gonna hang out at clubs and I just think that I think that's the one call. That was the one kind of missed call that they made, probably as parents, because you always wonder with your kids, are you really interested in this? Are you really going to do this? And had they gotten me a guitar in 4th grade, I don't know if I would be playing now. It might have just been a fail and, never got back to it. I think that all those years of wanting to do it finally fueled all the grunt work that it takes to do it, And you were asking me about the Beatles song. I think that I feel like I remember being extremely thrilled when I finally could play a Beatles song, and some of their songs, have such nice subtle chords to them. I mean, it took a lot of learning to learn some of them, but definitely you realized from learning them that there really truly was something special about the music that they'd made. They did everything from simple 12-bar blues stuff, but a lot of the prettier songs or the more subtle songs had a lot of real interesting chords.
Yeah, the one that always stuck out to me was Something in the Way She Moves, because it always has that dun, 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 dun. And it's just this really nice break. I always thought that was really cool, just the way that they kind of threw in these little changes. It was very unique.
It is. I think my theory is that at the time, one of the kind of music my dad liked, which I have come to love myself, was bossa nova music. The Girl from Ipanema.
Oh, that I have no idea
João Gilberto, and with his wife singing with him, and Stan Getz on the saxophone, and Jobim writing the songs, and it's interesting. I got a CD that had lots and lots of songs, and there was this one song, and I'm listening to it, and I'm thinking, this sounds like a Beatles song, and it actually. The phrasing of it is a lot like "Do You Want to Know a Secret?" Of course, the chords are much cooler, kind of jazzier sounding, but I think that they probably heard a lot of that kind of music, And McCartney's dad was in a band, that played probably popular music, and I think that like the CD I was talking about, the date on that song was like 58 or something like that. So it might have been that was an influence of theirs, because I did notice that. In some of the bossa nova songs, when I tried to learn them, that there were chords that were shared with some of the interesting chords that Beatles used to.
Yeah.
So.
Oh man! So you learned guitar in high school, and then you went to college in Illinois, correct?
I did.
Yeah. And so, did you play much in college, or was it more so kind of doing other stuff?
No, I did it in high school, and then I kind of abandoned it in college and was doing the art. I was an art major, so it was more of a didn't feel I had time to do both, and
right.
I had more success with the art probably because I'd grown up with that. So it wasn't really until I got out of college that I started playing again. So I wish I'd played in college.
Yeah. How come?
Just because I love playing. The fun would have started a little earlier, because I think, like we were talking about learning, there's that learning period, and it's not fun until somehow or another you start really making music, and then it starts being fun.
Yeah.
So I think once that happened, that's when I really had no problem being committed to it and doing it every day.
Cool. Well, you've got a great story to tell.
Yeah.
And I thank you so much for sharing your story with us today.
Thanks for documenting all this.
This is amazing. I'm really happy that we were able to do it, and I can't wait to listen to it for years to come.
Well, Josh, you're one of a kind. That's what we always say around our house, and we love you.
Love you too, Rick.
All right, buddy.
All right, this has been Housewine Collective signing off from Control Tower Studios.